we have several NFL teams that will begin the 2021 campaign with a new quarterback, all right? Will the following 6 teams have more or less wins in 2021 than they had in 2020? I'm sure you can figure this out.
I'm pretty, I think, on point with what I'm supposed to do here, but I have screwed things up before.
All right. Team number 1 is the Carolina Panthers. They acquired Sam Darnold from the New York Jets on Monday in exchange for a 6th-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick next year. More or less than 5 wins.
More. Keep in mind we have a 17th game, so there's an extra game for teams to win this year, more games, but I think this is at least a 6-win team. I think close to a 500 team, 8-9 wins this season. Christian McCaffrey back, hopefully healthy for the entire season.
Only played 3 games
Sam
last
Darnold.
year.
Exactly, only played 3 games. Joe Brady turned Joe Burrow into someone we didn't really know, the number 1 pick, and we saw him translate that to the NFL. I think Sam Darnold is going to do wonders here for his career working under Joe Brady and Matt Rule. I think a good head coach.
I completely agree. More than 5 wins because of 2 key statistical
reasons.
Statistics. 2 key statistical stats that point to it. Last year, they were 5-11 with a minus 52 scoring differential. That's more indicative of a 6.7 win team, 6 to 7 wins. So they underperformed. Number 2, they were 3-7 in 1-score games last season. That should be closer to 500. You get a little bit of positive regression, boom, we're there. Team number 2, your team, the Los Angeles Rams. They transitioned from Jared Goff. He's out. Matthew Stafford is in. More or less than 10 wins.
So I think the defense is going to regress a little bit from a number 1 overall defense, losing Brandon Staley.
How do you maintain it?
Should still be pretty good, but the offense is going to be way more explosive under Matt Stafford than it was Jared Goff. So I go more. I think this is an 11 or 12 win team with Matt Stafford under center. Despite Brandon Staley being gone, you still have Ramsey, you still have Donald. The defense should be good, but more than 10 wins.
If I was allowed, I would pick same. I really like what this team's going to be this year. Brandon Staley leaving as defensive coordinator, a little bit of a concern. Really tough division. And that 17th game at Baltimore.
That's a tough one.
Very tough one. But this is a very good football team. I expect to see them in the playoffs. I agree with you. I can't go same. I'll go more before I'll go less. Team number 3, the Detroit Lions. From Matthew Stafford to Jared Goff. More or less than 5 wins. Expectations high in the Motor City once again.
I feel bad for Jared Goff because a lot of his career narrative is going to be validated by those people that think he was uplifted by Sean McVay. He has now gone from one of the best environments to a Sam Darnold-like, New York Jets-like environment
it's like
in
Blake
Detroit.
Griffin.
Exactly.
LA to Detroit.
Exactly. So Jared Goff is not going to be slam dunking footballs anymore over the goalpost anymore. I'm going less here because new coaching staff led by Dan Campbell. That's not necessarily an offensive guru.
Nope.
Lose Kenny Galladay. They don't have any other weapons really on offense. I'm going to say less there as they downgrade a bit at quarterback and downgrade big time overall throughout the roster.
I agree. Campbell doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. This is a team that started last year 3-3 and finished the season 2-8. Goff is certainly not an upgrade over Stafford. It's like, hey, Jared Goff, welcome to Detroit. Don't mind him. That's Kenny Galladay, your top wide receiver. He's going to New York. We didn't re-sign him. That's not going to work too well. Team number 4, the Indianapolis Colts. Moving on from Phillip Rivers, who retired, moving to Carson Wentz, who they traded for with the Philadelphia Eagles. More or less than 11 wins.
So I want to say push here because I think 11 is right on the number at 11-6. But if I'm forced to say more or less,
it's going to be weird saying 11-6,
yeah,
12-5. I already don't like it.
I'll say less. But I'm not comfortable in that. I want to say push. That's what I'm most comfortable in because
the lower third is allowing you to say push.
If the lower third says it, I'll take it. Bam! Push right there. A great roster, good defense led by Darius Leonard and DeForest Buckner. Those great offensive line, Quentin Nelson. Good weapons for Carson Wentz, to throw to. Back reunited with Frank Reich. I think Wentz is going to look good and at least replicate what Phillip Rivers did. Yep. Not like Rivers was like the MVP of the league. I think Wentz can get back to a Rivers level of performance, and if that's the case, I think they're about the same team as a year ago.
A Rivers runs through it. A fantastic movie. I played this team at 25-1 to win the Super Bowl. I will bet that they win more than 11 games this year. You laid out a lot of great reasons. They're great in the trenches. Elite offensive line, great defensive line. Very well coached, top 10 defense. I think Carson Wentz is a buy low candidate.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Agree.
You have to sometimes find value out there. He's a broken guy. He didn't have a good offensive line. He didn't have good weapons. It had gone south in Philly. Frank Reich knows him. The guy who picked him up is the guy who knows him, won a Super Bowl with him. That's something I trust in. So I'm going to say more for the Colts. The Washington football team, from a collection of quarterbacks ranging from Dwayne Haskins to Kyle Allen to Alex Smith to Taylor Heineke and now to Ryan Fitzpatrick, more or less than 7 wins.
This was the easiest one for me to answer, and I'm going to say more. They won 7 games last year and the division with nothing at quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a massive upgrade over what they had. Curtis Samuel alongside Terry McLaurin is also a massive upgrade to that receiving core, and a full year of Antonio Gibson as the alpha running back. I think he can be 90% Christian McCaffrey. I think he can be a 3-down workhorse fantasy beast. They're going to win the division, way more than 7 wins.
Agreed. I'm going to go more as well. They started 2-7. They finished 5-2. They were strong throughout the stretch. Fitzpatrick's an upgrade. I think they're going to look at someone in the draft. I don't think they're done yet either. Second in total defense, 4th in scoring defense. These guys can play. Final team, the Chicago Bears. From Nick Foles and Mitchell Trubisky to Andy Dalton, it's really all the same thing, more or less than 8 wins.
Less, because I actually think they got worse in the quarterback room. I think Andy Dalton's a downgrade from Mitchell Trubisky. They didn't add anything alongside Allen Robinson. The defense is getting older. Less.
Agreed. They beat one team with a winning record last year. It was the Buccaneers. It was in Chicago early in the season on Thursday night. There was no Chris Godwin. Other than that, the Bears did nothing. They started 5-1. They closed 3-7. That concludes this edition of More or Less.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.